Hi everyone, my name is Sadia and thank you for being here today. In this presentation, I'll be talking about an important concept in Canadian business law known as the legal authority defense. This legal principle can actually protect certain individuals from being held liable for actions that, under normal circumstances, would be considered torts. Things like trespassing, false imprisonment, or even assault. That might sound confusing at first. How can someone not be held responsible for something that seems clearly wrong? Well, it all comes down to who is acting, why they're acting, and whether the law gives them permission to do so. So today, I want to break down what this defense really means, how it works in real-life cases, and why it's especially important for business owners to understand it. What is the legal authority defense? In the textbook Managing the Law, the Legal Aspects of Doing Business, the legal authority defense is discussed under tort law, specifically in the section about defenses to intentional torts. This defense applies when someone, often a government official, does something that would normally be illegal, like entering a private property without permission or physically detaining someone. But because their actions are authorized by law, they're not considered wrongful. Think of people like police officers, health inspectors, custom officers, or even fire marshals. These individuals are granted legal powers to act in ways that ordinary citizens cannot. For instance, if a bylaw officer walks into a restaurant without asking for permission, that's not trespassing because a law allows them to do so. To better understand how this defense works, let's look at a real Canadian legal case. R.V. Asante Mensah, 2003, SCC 38. This case was decided by the Supreme Court of Canada and helps define the boundaries of legal authority. Here's what happened. An airport inspector at Pearson International Airport was trying to stop a person suspected of operating an illegal taxi service. When the driver tried to flee, the inspector physically grabbed him to stop him from escaping until police arrived. Now, if this happened between two civilians on a street, we would probably call it assault or false imprisonment. But this wasn't just anyone. This was an official acting in public interest under the airport traffic regulations. The Supreme Court ruled that the inspector's actions were justified because the law gave him that power. The judge emphasized that it's not tort if you're acting under lawful authority. This case is powerful because it shows how the law can protect someone who uses reasonable force if their goal is to enforce a regulation or protect the public. It also raises interesting questions about balance between personal freedom, public safety, and between businesses' rights and government oversight. Why this matters to business? Now you might be thinking, why should business owners care about this legal principle? Well, here's the truth. Businesses have to interact with officials and inspectors all the time. It's part of running a legal and safe operation. A few examples include a health inspector walking into a restaurant kitchen unannounced, a fire marshal requiring an emergency evacuation, a building inspector closing a construction site due to safety violations. These actions might feel invasive or disruptive, but they're often legally justified. If a business owner doesn't understand the legal authority defense, they might accidentally interfere with an official, and that could actually lead to serious legal consequences. So understanding legal authority helps businesses avoid unnecessary conflict with officials, recognize when an official is acting within their legal powers, and know how to legally challenge actions if they seem unlawful. For example, if a fire marshal tells you to evacuate, it's not up for debate in that moment. But if you think your business was unfairly targeted, the proper route is to file a formal complaint or appeal, not block the official from doing their job. So let's recap. The legal authority defense is a critical concept in tort law. It protects certain individuals, mainly government officials, from liability when they act under the law, even if their actions might seem invasive, forceful, or aggressive. The case of R.V. Asante Mensah teaches us how this works in real life. It shows that someone can physically detain another person and still not be liable if they are acting under the authority of law. And from a business perspective, this defense highlights the importance of knowing your rights and rights of others. If you're a business owner, this understanding can help you cooperate more effectively with inspectors and regulators, prevent unnecessary legal disputes, and even protect your business reputation. Thank you so much for listening. I hope this gave you a clearer picture of the legal authority defense and why it matters not just in courtrooms, but in everyday business operations. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.